Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now today's video is one of my absolute favorite to make. It is the release of one of my own Outer Limitless design camp knives. Here today we are going to look at the iteration of my Shanzu Rhino Camp Cleaver, which is a collaboration. It's an Outer Limitless design manufactured by the people at Shanzu who do a fantastic job. And well, today, fully boxed and ready to go, my first production run. And so if you're not familiar with Shanzu, they make amazing cooking knives, kitchen knives, just gorgeous designs. And they are actually the largest sales volume in all of Europe for kitchen knives. They do an amazing job with their kitchen cutlery. But they've taken a dive into the outdoor camp lineup. They've taken me on board as a designer. And here again, our first collaboration, the Rhino Camp Cleaver. And this is the small version. This is expected to be a multi-knife set. And so again, the small version. We will take a look at the production run and talk about this in detail. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Shanzu who did make this all possible. Again, their work is fantastic. They're amazing people. I've met the owner. I've met their representatives. I've been with them on trips. I've been with them at trade shows. They do an amazing job. And they're also tied in with the Fintiso brand. So if you've been watching different reviewers, mostly pocket knives and the Fintiso brand, Shanzu and Fintiso, basically ultimately the same parent company. So not only they're awesome kitchen knives, not only they're awesome folders, but today we are going to talk about this Rhino Camp Cleaver in detail. And so as we work through what was ultimately the evolution of this design, it started with the drawings. So first, drawings and sketches and conceptual ideas. Then it went to CAD. The CAD went to 3D modeling. The 3D modeling went to 3D printing. And as you can see here, I actually have a couple of different versions. They look almost identical at a first glimpse, but the devil is in the details. And ultimately, these have two different thicknesses in the palm swell. So you can see through the handle section, thickness difference in the palm swell. And I ultimately liked it to be just a little bit thicker, a little bit more robust, and really filling out the hand in that critical pinch point where it, in my opinion, just opened up the grip a little bit to reduce fatigue and give you a real nice purchase. From that point, we kind of green lit the prototype stage. So here, the prototype, and you can see here, just very simple in the overall design, pretty straightforward. I like to design on, I'd say, very clean lines, but something that's going to be functional and really strike the balance between a camp knife and a kitchen knife. And that was the concept with the Rhino Camp Cleaver. And again, this being the small. Now, I also anticipate having a larger version and even a full chopping size at some point. I also anticipate having a small EDC version of this and potentially even a folder. So this is the Rhino Camp Cleaver SM or small. Now, when it comes down to the prototype, this is not in the finished steel nor the finished hardware configuration. So it's basically just a test. This is in 5CR15, which to me actually has performed amazing. I've used this knife quite a bit, all in the kitchen for the general kitchen tasks, and it has performed extremely well. But then moving forward to the actual production sample. So the final production run in 14C 28N, which is a fantastic steel that I absolutely love. 14C 28N, just a great option. Good edge retention, good hardness, good durability, and the ability to resharpen fairly easy, and it's reasonably corrosion resistant. So a lot of great features and properties for a knife that's going to be used in the wilderness, and hopefully in the wilderness while you're cooking. So again, keep in mind the fact that I was really trying to strike the balance between what Shanzu typically and traditionally does very well with their kitchen knives and their cutlery, kitchen cutlery and camp kitchen cutlery, and really cross the bridge with this design. So again, this is getting very close to the final production features. You can see going from the prototype to the production sample, I had them grind just a nice sharpened spine at the top. You can still get your thumb over the top, yet sharpened so that you can strike a ferro rod, get your fire started, do some scraping on some bark, process down your tinder. So again, really striking the balance and trying to get something that's a well-rounded knife for multiple purposes. At that point, we were able to prototype the sheath. So very simple yet effective. Kydex, no rattle, very secure, nice fit, little thumb ramp, excellent overall quality. Shanzu doing a great job, taking a little bit of feedback from me, making sure that we had industry standard eyelet spacing in a number of locations. You could cant a ferro rod if you wanted to. You could attach different attachment points. So very simple yet straightforward, not too much to it, but effective at the same time. And so after all of this work, I'm extremely excited to take a look at the final production run samples. So this is the first production run samples. You can see just beautifully done with the packaging, gorgeous box, nicely packaged all the way around, and that's just awesome to see this. I'm loving that bright red, that pop, and just looking awesome right away. And of course, none of this comes quickly. You have to imagine all the work that goes into this to get everything prepared after doing all the testing, all the design, all the manufacturing, the moment of truth. Aha. So we are introducing 3 colorways. I should have at least one of each. As we take a look at the packaging here, you have your Shanzu pamphlet, Shanzu sticker, a QR code, which gets you to Shanzu Knives sharing, customer service, and a secondary sales community, which is really interesting. My Outer Limitless logo sticker, and of course, the knife, which I am so happy and proud to see this. Beautifully done, nicely laser cut. The box, again, just well done, but the knife. This here in the black colorway. The final features coming together wonderfully. Black G10, beautifully sculpted, everything rounded out, fitting nicely in the hand. Sharpened spine over the top. The bolts, we intentionally put the round bolts in the back side of the grip to minimize hot spots. The Shanzu logo right on the front. 14C 28N on the steel. Here we end up with your tumbled finish. That awesome just napped look, almost like a hand-hammered look. Beautifully done. The Outer Limitless logo on this side. Chamfered on the slightly crowned tang. So if you see, the tang there is subtly proud, but everything beveled nicely. And that way there are no hot spots. Everything perfectly rounded and melting in the hands as you look at the grip. This is going to be excellent for anybody with small, medium, or large size hands. Even an XL can definitely get in there. I have large size hands, and you will see how perfectly this indexes. Handle design is not easy, and it's in the eye of the beholder, but you can see after all of this work, we have created a knife that just melts into the hand wonderfully. And that handle is perfectly ergonomic, not to mention the fact that by design, it does allow you to get down onto the cutting surface. You'll notice that there's plenty of room beneath the handle, so you can get your hand on the knife, rock it forward just a little bit, do all that work down on the belly of the blade onto the cutting surface. So for food prep and all the basic camp tasks, this is just a wonderful design. I always like to introduce scallops into my designs. So as you rotate the knife, put your thumb over the top, get a nice strong bearing right on the side of the tang. It's flat. You can index there well and do all of those scraping tasks right up against that sharpened spine. So squared off 90 degrees. This should absolutely rip the ferro rod for you. And again, nice and soft, rounded and chamfered where your thumb goes over the top if you're doing those controlled cutting tasks. So from a design and execution perspective, I have to say this has been extremely well done by Shanzu. And again, the final production Kydex sheath, perfect fit, absolutely no rattle, perfectly secure, nicely done. And if everything went according to plan, theoretically, no worries there. So no matter what knife you have, fits in that sheath wonderfully. Two more colorways here, and if you look at just the effectiveness of how that tip just allows you to get in, simple slicing, nice and precise, not cutting the box at all, just literally run that knife right down. Very controlled, a lot of unique and interesting angles, and a very effective design, in my opinion. That's why, to me, this would make a really cool small neck style or EDC style knife. Now, this particular colorway here in sort of that coyote tan, which if you've ever tried to select a color profile for a coyote tan, it is not that easy. To get the color right is very, very difficult. Some are too brown, some are too yellow, some go pink. I believe what I'm seeing here is we nailed it. That's awesome. So very happy to see that this tan is just beautiful. Very nicely done. Excellent overall. Just awesome, awesome, awesome. I am pumped about the color of this handle. Not that I was worried about it, but you always kind of sweat the details. And in this case, it definitely came out wonderful. So the coyote tan here, the second offering, looking at it now, obviously against the black, giving you a little bit of variety. So from your black to the tan, and then the last version in the green, which you've already seen, but getting this again out of the box and here. So the green is subtly changed. It's not quite as olive. That's like a real sort of olive. This is a little bit more, I would say, towards a forest green, which is just a real nice green. It's, again, not quite as sort of olive as the original, factory sample was. And I would say, in my opinion, just a better choice for the general user. Has that nice outdoor look. Beautiful green, just a real nice clean color. Again, everything in G10, so G10 handles. I expect to, in the future, have versions with micarta. Hopefully these do well. I can definitely see on the next versions introducing micarta and different types of handle materials and things like that. But this is a great place to start. Fairly straightforward, yet at the same time, something for everybody. Just giving you a quick look beneath the scales. As you can see, skeletonized on the tang. And then in terms of the hardware, T8 hardware all the way around. D-shaped on the Shanzu logo. Actually D-shaped all the way around. But the ones that are the basic screws don't really matter because they are two-sided. But again, you can see just nicely contoured, chamfered, everything done inside, very clean. So if you actually did want to use this knife without the handle scales, you absolutely could. Allows you to do a nice paracord wrap, anything like that. You could even put a little bit of, tinder in there if you wanted to make a small kit. I would not necessarily suggest it. I think it's more work than it's worth. But again, just Shanzu, sweating the details, chamfering everything nicely rounded, skeletonized under the handle. Very, very nicely done. So depending on what you like, just all, black, that nice tumbled finish. Going to the tan, so if you like kind of more of that, coyote or tan look, I personally think this looks awesome. I love the way this came out. I am absolutely pumped about that. And that gorgeous forest green, Shanzu knocking this Rhino Camp Cleaver, the small version, knocking it out of the park. What a wonderful job. Thank you very much to the people at Shanzu. And so there you have it, guys. A look at the Shanzu Rhino Camp Cleaver Small, the SM version. Thank you guys for following along. Again, a very exciting day for me. A fantastic job by the people at Shanzu. Just absolutely knocking this out of the park. I'm really excited for, any of my creations to come to life. This has been such a long process, and to see it here today, to see it executed so well, and just a beautiful job from a company that really does sweat the details. Shanzu doing an amazing job. Their manufacturing is spot on. They're great people. Their products are awesome. And again, not just their kitchen cutlery. They're doing a great job with their folders, their fit and finish, and their entrance into this market space. They are doing a wonderful job. So if you guys are interested in this, do me a favor, look in the description box below where you can find all of the relevant links. There will be much more to come. We'll do some field work. We'll start to put these to use so you can see how they perform. But with that, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for all your support. And if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there. So if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.